inaugural race here at ARCS. I'm joined by one of our good broadcasters, DP, Terry Gabbert. But before we get into the festivities for tonight, I just wanted to let everybody know about some pretty sad news. We lost one of our good friends, Luke Allen, this past weekend. And, he was a big part of our ARCS community. He was a big part of the Xbox community as a whole. He ran a lot of races amongst a bunch of different leagues. But more importantly, he had an amazing family and a young kid, and our thoughts and prayers are with them in this trying time. And throughout the broadcast, we're gonna have some guys come in, talk about arch enemy, which was his gamer tag, and just kind of tell everybody how we feel about him. So, DP, I know you were good friends with him. It's all
Yeah,
yours,
Tommy.
buddy.
Yeah, Tommy. It's a rough night. Excited to get the inaugural race of our Street Stock Series underway. It's going to be a really good race. But yeah, this morning we got some really bad news, and it's unfortunate. It's really hard when you try to figure out what you're going to say at a time like this. Uh, One of the things that kind of happens when you're a group like this, when we started, it was very, very small, and we were just running Xbox for fun. When we started to get really competitive, there was a couple guys that I raced with in another league, and I was like, "Man, you guys got to check us out. You guys are really good." And arch enemy Luke Allen, he was one of those guys, and so he came over and we kind of moved on. We moved over to iRacing, and he was planning on this year. I think Ryan's probably going to touch base later on that in the broadcast about coming over to iRacing and racing with us. And you find these things out, Tommy, and it's just really sad because what tends to happen is as we grow and as we get bigger, it almost tends to be really about the competition and what we're doing, race in and race out, and you kind of forget that. These are your boys. I was able to talk to a bunch of our guys today and just tell them how much I appreciated them. And I'm glad that we kind of got to do this thing and have this really interesting friendship that nobody would think would become so big until something like this hits. And so, shout out to all the guys that Luke Allen affected in his years racing with us and racing all over the Xbox. I was on my Facebook today, Tommy, and it was just post after post about him, and you can really see uh, what a blessing that a guy like that is for not only leagues but people individually, and you'll hear about that throughout the night as well. And so, really sad for him, really sad for his family. Arcs is going to be trying to do what we can. There's going to be a link in this broadcast. We know we put a link in our Discord, and we'll try to spread that around throughout the week. It's Monday night. All of our races this week are going to be dedicated to Luke and his family. There's a link if people want to donate and try to send them some money to make that uh, financially easier as much as it possibly can be. So make sure you look out for that. Make sure that you stay close with our family of broadcasters. I know tomorrow night they'll be running, or I'm sorry, Wednesday night, ABN. I'm sure that you'll be able to see that there. You see it in our post tonight. Rick James TV, Repeat 1975. All those broadcasts this week that you're going to see throughout the week for ARCs are going to be plastering this link everywhere, trying to get the word out. Really unfortunate for Luke. Wish his family well. Yeah, I mean it's just really hard, Tommy. But I appreciate the guys that are coming together, and you really see humanity when something like this happens, and it's really good that we have that in ARCs and a bunch of really good friends.
Yeah, things like this, they put everything into perspective. We're sitting here half the time upset or frustrated with each other, but then, we go to sleep and the next race, the next week or next day, we're racing with the same guys like nothing happened, like we're brothers. And one thing about Luke was, we know him from a racing aspect, and you guys are going to get a little bit of that today. But he was such a quiet guy. He knew what push to talk was before we didn't even know what push to talk meant, but he was using it. And
Yeah,
he was such a chill guy who never got bent out of shape about stuff. I think I was talking to Seth about this earlier, and he said, he was always someone who owned up to things on the racetrack, even when he didn't have to, when it was maybe somebody else's fault. And it's really sad to see, not only for the community to lose him, but also his family. And we're going to be posting this link throughout the night, throughout the week, like DP said, to try to raise some funds for his family, for expenses that they didn't plan on having. As you can see here, he was 30 years old, 31 years old, 30 years old. So nobody plans on that. And if we can raise a couple bucks here and there to help out his family, I mean, they would be extremely appreciative. So anything you could donate, we appreciate as well. And if you can't donate, at least say a little prayer and for his family and his friends too. So yeah, that's it. We're going to be bringing guys in throughout the broadcast, and you guys are going to get a better understanding of what Arch Enemy meant to us. We'll have some really cool paint schemes throughout the week. I know we had some guys working on them today nonstop. I don't think much work got done at the office. Everybody was painting paint schemes, so it's going to be really nice to see that. And it's our little small way of paying tribute to a good friend.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, what an incredible person he was. What an incredible driver. And Tommy, we'll look to kind of pay tribute to that with this race. You got Charlotte with these street stocks. It's going to be wide open. Two or three different lines that these guys will be able to run. I think it's going to be a really exciting race to broadcast. And what a way for us to have our first opportunity to honor Arch Enemy.
Oh yeah, I mean these cars are pretty pretty fun here. I know one of the first races I did on iRacing was street stocks at Charlotte. Like everyone says, oh, you gotta do street stocks at Charlotte, and just so happens to fall on the first day that we're going to be doing this thing for Luke. So hopefully these guys, I know these guys are going to put on a show. They know what's at stake. They want to go out there and win this race for him. So yeah, we'll see how this race goes, but I'm really looking forward to the action out there. As I say that, I'm going to bring one of our first guy in here. Bear with me. I'm starting to get I'm starting to get used to Streamlabs again. It's been a while, obviously. So I'm going to bring Seth in here now. Hey, Seth, up in the broadcast booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
So we're just kind of talking about Luke Allen and Arch Enemy, who kind of what he meant to us. And I know you wanted to say some words, so sorry if I interrupted your qualifying, but the floor is yours, buddy.
No, man, you didn't. Running a tribute DJ scheme for him tonight. Actually, right now, still got a couple cars to go, but I think I might have put that thing on the pole for him. Actually, Trey Kirk just beat me, but starting second for him. But nevertheless, couldn't think of a better dude. Never had a bad word to say about anybody. Um, always really soft spoken. Um, really, really fast. He'd sneak up on you um, for a couple race wins here and there. And I just want everybody to know how short life is, man. You never know what the good Lord's got planned for you. And Luke was a great guy. Um, and I'm sure that's resonated through everybody that you've spoken to so far. Um, even if something was his fault on track or within the group, or wasn't his fault, excuse me, he'd take the blame for it. He'd always be willing to help someone out with setups or do whatever he could for anybody. So just thinking of his wife and his little girl, um, and just everyone, just please donate, do whatever you can for us. Tune in for us this whole week. We got a lot of special stuff. Tommy, I know you got some special stuff planned for Thursday and Sunday coming up for A Squared too. But I just want to get on and appreciate you guys letting me come on and talk about just, I mean, again, beating a dead horde, but he was just a great human being. You can say that about a lot of dudes, just about how good of a dude he was, but a good of a person anybody is in ARCS. But really just one of the good ones, man. And some of the worst things happen to the best people, and you try to put your head around it. And but we're racing for him tonight. I'm gonna try to park this nine. Dale Jarrett, arch enemy scheme in victory lane for him, and just thinking of him, praying for him, and really appreciate you and DP doing and SK and D Bucks kind of and all of ARCs letting us do our thing for him this week. And again, just what a human being, and just it sucks, man.
Yeah, it, Arch was one of those guys where at the beginning of the race, maybe he would be in the back, maybe he would start in the back and slowly work his way up. But by the end of the race, you'd be like, where the heck did he come from? Kind of like Mr. Closer. And then he'd be up there in the top three to win or winning the race. I remember, I'm glad you told me earlier because I was for sure he won a Darlington race with us. But I couldn't find it in my phone. I couldn't find the results. But I appreciate you coming to me earlier and telling me he won that Darlington race because we're going to Darlington this week, and for TNT, how fitting that he won the last Darlington race we went to in TNT. So it's just it's insane. But thanks for joining us, Seth. Now we got Ryan in the booth. Ryan, you want to say a couple words?
Yeah, sure. Obviously, I don't know what y'all have already talked about, but Arch, enemy, good buddy of mine, good buddy of all of ours, passed away yesterday morning or this morning, I guess. Um, and it's been tough. I mean, we always go back to our OG guys. The guys that we started with, and Arch has always been there. So, um, it's just I couldn't believe it. I mean, it almost seemed like it was unreal when I saw it. And he had told me, sent me a message, and this has probably been a couple months ago, telling me that he was going to get iRacing by the end of the year, and he would be ready to race with us in 2023. And unfortunately, that now won't happen. But we have so many great events this week to kind of honor him and his family. His wife and his daughter. Um, we're gonna try and raise some money. Arcs is we're a close knit group, family and friends, and sometimes I go to bed sometimes thinking, why in the hell do I do this shit? And something like this that happens and all of us coming together is exactly why I do this shit. Um, it's I mean, I really just don't even have words for it. I mean, you never think that someone that young, someone that's that close to you, will have something terrible like that happen to them. But shit happens, and it's unfortunate. It's unfair. He was a wonderful human being. He was a damn good race car driver. Um, he started almost 50 races in ARCs throughout his career. Had that huge win at Darlington that really nobody saw coming, but man, he was quiet and silent the whole time, just like he always is. You never heard much from him during the race, but man, when the checkered flew and everything was over, he would come in there and talk with us and talk about his race and what happened, and we're gonna miss that for sure. I know he's raced with a bunch of other leagues, and they're doing some stuff on their end as well, but it's tough. It really is. I mean, it's you never want to have to deal with that, especially as someone that you consider a close friend. He was even debating on going to Bristol Dirt with us, and I really wish he would have now. But we're going to try and put a show on out here at Charlotte for him. I think TNT is, they have their race kind of named in memorial for him, more on the Xbox side, and then of course Sunday night is the A Squared Luke Allen Memorial 200. So we'll have those links up for both of those races, and anybody that's watching those, donate what you can, even if it's $5. I mean, there's a wife and kid that no longer have dad and husband. So that's something that I would not wish on my worst enemy. So, but we'll see. I'm excited about tonight. I think it'll be fun. We got about 18 cars out there on the track, so I'm ready to get going. I appreciate y'all calling it for us. It gives the driver something to watch back. But at the end of the day, this is more than racing. This is honoring a friend and family member that we lost.
Yeah, this is family. It's crazy how quickly we all became a family. I was saying to guys before, when we first met Arch, it was at the beginning of ARCS, and we were all sitting at home on quarantine. I'm being in New York City. I was kind of in the epicenter of it. I couldn't even leave my apartment. And when you're at home like that, you don't realize how quickly like your friends become your family. And Arch was always is a part of that, and it's just so sad to see him go. But like you said, we're gonna put on a show this week. We're gonna do what we can to celebrate his life, and hopefully you guys, like you said, like Ryan said, $5, $1, whatever you can give, even a prayer for him and his family if you can't give any money, to the PayPal link that I posted in the chat, and we can try to help his family get through this tough time, this unimaginable time. So thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to let you guys get back to the race, and we're going to cover this, and we're going to hopefully you guys can put on a show for them.
Yep, we'll do our best. Good luck to y'all, and this one's for you, Arch.
Appreciate you, Tommy. Yep. God bless Luke Allen. We're going to send it for you, Arch. Hopefully we can throw it in victory lane for you, buddy.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break here before we go green. Get the lineup for you. Be back in a minute. And we're back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 50 laps for the MK Men's Street Stock Series. This is the first race of the year for this new league, presented by MK Men. Shout out to Dustin Painter for sponsoring this and putting on this show, as well as SKD, who will be in my booth shortly. We got the cars gridding up now. Looks like Trey Kirk just barely beat out Seth Wansing for the first position. Really cool Valvoline scheme there for the 66. Next in line, like I said, Seth Wansing, that UPS car. That's a scheme that, as we said, for our good friend Luke Allen, I'm sorry, that he was a big Dale Jarrett fan. So to see that UPS scheme on that car, that's a pretty cool thing. SK, you want to tell me a little bit about how they're going to start this race?
Yep, absolutely. As you can see, Trey Kirk, our pole sitter, has kind of held back for a lap. And this is known in a lot of short track stuff as the missing man formation. So they're going to hold back for one extra lap to honor our good friend Luke Allen, who I have had the great pleasure of calling and interviewing in the booth several times in TNT and everything else. So this is kind of an emotional time for us, but it's really awesome that we're out here doing this, and they're doing this
Can you
missing
take
man
him for a little
formation.
bit?
And then once we cross that
He's like
start
barking
finish
at
line,
me.
you're going to see Trey Kirk move up next to that UPS car, and we are going to go green tonight, guys. You're going to see a lot of cars with that number 6, plastered all over it, or Mark Martin, Ryan Newman, anything Roush Fenway. If you see a Roush Fenway schemed car, you know that was, arch enemy's favorite team. He was always a Roush fan. So let's go racing.
Yes, he was. He was a big Ford guy. He ran a lot of. I know he ran the 88 at times because I think that he wanted to pay homage to Dale Jarrett, even though it wasn't Dale Jarrett in that car at the time. But he was a big Roush Fenway guy, big Robert Yates guy. But we'll see some tributes throughout the race. But just to get through the field right here, we got Dustin Painter in the 65, Samuel Roberts starting on the inside of second row. That's the 15 car. 30 car. I'm sorry. The 99 car of Jacob Blankenship will be starting 5th. Rounding out your third row here is the 30 car of Daniel Roberts. Jeremy Briel will be following in the Taco Bell 74. Tom Sears in the 14. And then Ryan Pinnell in the 12. That is also a tribute car. You could see the Roush and the logo on the hood there. But we're going to get back to the front as we're going green here. Going green on the flagman. 66 bringing them down. Green is out. Good jump for the 66. 9 car lagging a little bit behind. Going to try to fall in line here. Nope, staying to the outside. These cars they get wound up here, SK. These cars are awesome for this track. Basically flat out around this place. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, this is street stock Daytona right here at Charlotte. This is plate track racing. A lot of fast speeds. What's really cool about this track is with these cars is, the rear ends on these things are so loose, and you can run any line. You're going to see some high side, low side driving, and the draft is important, but you don't need the draft to really kind of make the pass here. So it's going to be kind of interesting to watch. Looks like we got a good clean restart, Tommy, or a good clean start, and it looks like they're kind of starting to thin out a little bit. So now it's going to be the sit and wait game.
Yeah, great start for these guys. Very clean start. Good to see that. We got 2 by 2 by 2. I don't know. It looks like Talladega Daytona out there with the way these cars are driving. 66 car moving up into the lead with fighting off the 9 car. But these guys behind them are hungry to get around the 66 and the 9.
Definitely great battle going on up here. Everybody's looking pretty clean. Looks like you got a couple stragglers in the back, but nothing too serious. But right now, the middle of the pack just looks like it's a blast right now. I wish I was in this race now, but man, it looks like they are having fun. As Ryan gets a little tight, heads up to the wall, able to save it. Man, what racing we've got going on up here.
Yeah, this is an action-packed race for the first 3 laps. Shout out to Briley in the 81 car. That's a pretty cool rowdy scheme right there. Briley Wright, one of our not newcomers to iRacing, but definitely not to ARCS. He's been around since the ARCS inception. You know, last night was his first A squared race. Had a pretty good run going. I think he got caught up in a little bit of misfortune, but really good to see him out there. Awesome scheme. Obviously, that 12 car, I already talked about that. That is a pretty cool. It's kind of the Roush Fenway 6. Am I right there, SK?
Mm-hmm.
That's a Roush Fenway 6 car with the 12 on it. So really cool to see that car.
Also a nice little 17 up there on the front fender. You know,
Yep. So
we've
good
seen
tribute.
the Arch in the 6 and the 17.
Yeah, we saw him in a couple different cars there. 14 of Tom Sears, that black TNT car. You can find our TNT races on Rick James TV1. That'll be Thursday. We'll be doing something for Luke during that race, like we mentioned, and he's got a logo on his hood as well. So as we come back to the front here, it looks like we got still a battle for the lead. Looks like Seth is gonna maybe prevail here coming out of the corner. No, they'll come out side by side once again, but neither of these guys have any help. I wonder if getting too far ahead of these guys will make them a sitting duck, SK.
It's almost like that. You know, you can't really bump draft. So that's the only thing that's different about these cars. And I keep saying, like we keep saying, like, oh, this is like Talladega or Daytona. You can't really bump draft, but you could definitely lay back a little bit and get a heck of a run. And that looks like Jeremy's trying to set. Looks like Jeremy's trying to set Dustin Painter up a little bit. And I just kind of have to shout out to, that 74 Taco Bell car. These cars are modeled like a 76 to 78 Camaro. And that car just screams a 76 to 78 Camaro. Like, it just screams it.
Yeah.
Definitely paying homage to a little bit of a classicness. But right now, Trey Kirk, Seth Wansing, literally door to door this entire race. 8 laps about ready to be, or 7 laps about ready to be completed. And we've had clean racing.
Oh yeah, this has been super clean like that Taco 74 car right there. That is a cool scheme. It kind of reminds me of the Taco Bell that I used to go to as a kid. That was really
Oh, we got
outdated.
one in the wall.
Oh, missed that one. Not showing up on
Yeah.
my SDK Gaming. So looks like we're staying green here. But yeah, that 74 car looks exactly like my Taco Bell did as a kid. Really cool schemes. That 23 car also cool Camry looking. I haven't seen the Camry on these new street stocks, but that's Ben Choate there, one of our newcomers to ARCS. Welcome, Ben. He's been running with us for a couple weeks now, putting on some really good racing. It's really good to see him out here in the street stocks tonight.
Yeah, definitely super excited. Actually, I kind of want to give another little special shout out to Briley Wright. And, because I was talking to some of those guys, and, this brings up another, Luke Allen story, arch enemy. I used to broadcast the A Squared on Xbox into the last season of TNT, and, very soft spoken, didn't know what to say during an interview. But then after you got done with the broadcast, he would sit there and talk to me for like an hour, like me, him, Briley, Cody Riggs, E-Dog, or, Ethan Wood would all just sit in the broadcast booth. Everybody moved up to General to go do something else. And we would just sit there for like almost an hour every night, just talking about, the race and just off the wall stuff. So glad to see Briley's out here, representing. And this is just, man, 10 laps, still green flag racing. It, it may look kind of somewhat boring on the stream, but I bet these guys are having the time of their lives right now.
Oh, it looks like a blast for all these guys. One guy who's not really having the race he wanted is Ryan Pinnell. Looks like he was the car that got into the wall. It didn't show up on my SDK, but it did show him going to the pits. So it looks like he may have needed to pit for maybe a fast repair or something. And it looks like he's blinking pretty bad there. But yeah, hopefully he can get a caution and get back into this race. Guy right ahead of him in the SRX car is Patrick Allen. Patrick Allen, also known as Quiet, he's been around for a while. Just running in the back like normal. So shout out to Quiet for showing up though. As we get back to the front, still 2x2, 66 on the bottom, 9 on the top, 65 in the 15. I mean, at some point here, they're going to get a little bit impatient. They're going to want to get to the front of this field. They're going to want to push that car. We said you can't really bump draft in these cars, but I mean, at some point, push comes to shove, and one of those guys is going to have to push the guy in front of them through to the lead. It's either checkers or wreckers.
Yeah, not sure when these guys are going to start making moves or not. I know that this is pretty much going to be a green flag race. So I bet some of these guys will probably try to stay a little patient. We still got a long ways to go. We're only on lap 13 of.
Yeah, not sure what the fuel mileage is on these cars. Unfortunately, kind of had to didn't really get time for the fuel mileage and the tire wear like I normally would, and that's just because we got hit with some unfortunate news today. So kind of took care of what's important and putting on a good show for you. Yes, Jacket in the stream saying I'd be pushing someone. Yes, you would. One of the best plate drivers we have. Won our Daytona A squared race. We got the 9 car blinking and we got the 15 and the 65 getting together.
Oh, this is going to turn bad.
Then they keep it green. I mean, I don't know how they didn't wreck there. It looked like the 15 was actually through the 65 on my screen. Maybe a little bit of a glitch there. 09 getting super loose coming out of 2 there. Looks like he's going to the back. Maybe a blinking issue there. Doesn't want to ruin someone else's race. Shout out to him. But yeah, we got to change. We got a definite leader now in that 66 car. That's Trey Kirk.
Yeah, and right now he is all by himself up there. If they can get a good run going on, you might see that poor 66 just get overtaken.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be strategic here, right? You don't want to get too far out. We've seen that in real life. We've seen that in iRacing, where if you get too big of a lead at some of these draft-heavy tracks, you wind up in a just a sitting duck there. As I say that, it looks like we got an issue. 12 car looks like, I don't know if he's having blinking issues or whatnot, but yeah, we're gonna poor Ryan Pinnell. I mean, he can't get his internet working. Hopefully, by the end of the year, they'll go to Georgia and give him some good internet. So shout out to Ryan for sticking it out. And what an awesome scheme! What an awesome tribute scheme that car was. That car is. Sorry. And we're back live to the front of the field. Looks like the 65. Trying to get a run on the 66 here. It's got help from the 74. Taco Bell car pushing him through the whole front stretch. As these tires wear, what's going to happen? Are these guys going to get loose in the rear end and get a push that's maybe just a little bit too much? Right now, it looks like they can take that push. But as we get to lap 25, lap 30, lap 35, we may be they may be slipping and sliding through this track, and you may not want to get that push.
No, you definitely don't want to get this push after about 25 laps. About halfway, you're going to have to start babying these cars. Like I said earlier in the broadcast, these things are super light in the rear end. And not to mention, the body roll on these cars is just unreal. These cars are meant to be a budget race car for guys that your local short tracks, 3/8 mile, quarter mile, and even half mile racetracks. And here we are at a mile and a half, just, you know, punching it through at 145, 150 mile an hour. But once these tires start to wear, Tommy, you're going to be holding on to this baby for dear life.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You'll be dirt tracking this by the end of this green flag run, and that's why I got my money on that '66 car. I'm not sure if he won the dirt race before this. We every Monday night we have ARCS Extreme, which consists of ARCS Dirt, the Dirt Late Model Series, followed by either the Street Stocks, the MK Men Street Stocks, or our Tour Modified Series. If you have any interest in joining either of those series or both, get with one of us, go through the ARCS, racearcs.com website and apply. But, Trey Kirk has been pretty much dominating dirt since we've started racing here. So if this becomes a slick track, I mean, I got my eyes on that 66 cars. We got a car off the track here. Looks like a 45 car
45.
of that's Patrick Quiet Allen the fifth. Tough break for him. I mean, wouldn't be an ARCS race if Quiet didn't reckon it. But here we are. He's staying out there. He's got that Rogue Energy sponsorship. They've stuck with him throughout this whole thing. Kudos to them.
Sorry, Jeremy gave D-Bucks a nice push. He got a run, but unfortunately just came before the quarter and the high side's just not prevailing. And yeah, definitely shout out to Trey Kirk. Young kid, 16, 17 years old, races dirt in real life. And when these street stocks go to the dirt tracks this season, because we're doing several dirt tracks, several asphalt, man, he's probably just going to whip up on them boys.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was in the lobby before the race started, and everyone was saying, "Hurry up, start the lobby before Trey Kirk gets here. Start the lobby." But obviously, it doesn't work like that. This isn't NASCAR heat anymore. But yeah, Trey Kirk obviously got in there. I don't know how the results panned out. Was prepared for this race, but really awesome driver. Cool to see guys running on iRacing, taking the time out of their busy schedule. Who race in real life and have obviously real life obligations, then have a race car on top of that, and still finds the time to come here and race in ARCS with us. So shout out to him and all these guys who are putting on a hell of a show right now.
Definitely putting on a hell of a show. And you know what? I just caught a glimpse of this car, the number 44 of Joshua Garrison. That U.S. Coast Guard car is just slick looking. Like it's so simple. It's just beautiful. That thing just screams awesomeness.
That is a pretty cool car. I did not notice that. Thank you, SK. That Joshua Garrison's a big Labonte fan, so I think that's what is that? That's got to be a Justin Labonte type of scheme there.
Oh, we are 3 wide, right in front of him.
Oh, 75. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, I'm a little bit slow here, but 75 looked like he got turned there. That's James Kerr, but he was able to save it, and we keep on going green. James Kerr, a guy that's coming to ARCS recently and lit the league on fire, winning 2 of his first, 3 or 4 races. Really good driver, really clean driver. Really awesome to have him in this league and a part of it. But great save there. But he's got his work cut out for him. As we get back to the front here, still 2 by 2 by 2. Trey Kirk making it work by himself on the bottom. Dustin just can't get the drive off the corner to clear him. And I don't think he wants to leave that 74 hanging either. The 74 has been his drafting buddy. And I wonder how those tires are going to wear with Trey Kirk being on the bottom for 25 laps and the 65 and 74 being on the top. Looks like the 65 now has him cleared. Oh, just getting in front of the 66, taking his momentum away, going back up to the top.
Woo!
That was
Inches.
close. Yeah. That could have been a netcode disaster, but luckily these guys made it through. Oh, we got 3 wide going into the corner here. Still 3 wide again, 99, Jacob Blankenship. Another one of our newcomers. Glad to see him out here. That's a really cool 99 scheme we got there. Looks like is that a door bumper clear car? Kind of hard to see here, but looks like it to me. But then again, I need glasses, so I could be wrong. 44 gets into him and they're spinning. Looks like there was just 44 with heavy contact to the inside wall. This for sure is going to bring out a caution. Caution is out. Looks like Trey Kirk powered back on the bottom side to retake the lead right before the caution came out. Or maybe not. It looked like he did, but it's either going to be him or Dustin in the top here, the top spot. Let's go back to see if we could see exactly what happened there. I know we saw it live, but
Yeah, Tommy, I pulled it up, and when you pull it up, it definitely was just a victim of circumstance. What a bummer for these two drivers.
yeah, it looks like Joshua Garrison got a little bit tight there, tried to save it, and then the 81 was right below him and just nowhere for these guys were both trying to go to the bottom or were headed towards the bottom, and there just wasn't enough room. But, now we're, 27 laps in to this race, something like that. I'm thinking all these guys are going to come down for tires.
Oh, guaranteed your money back. They're going to come down for tires.
Tommy Withers coming down pit road. That's the 6 car. That's a Mark Martin throwback scheme. Really cool scheme there. Tommy Withers, shout out to him. Really, really big Mark Martin fan. So hopefully he can get up there and put that 6 in victory lane for our good buddy Arch.
Definitely, that Stroh white car is just epic. Love it.
So interesting here. Looks like our top, trying to get a good read from SDK on what's going on as far as pitch strategy here. Looks like our top guys stayed out. Didn't see that one coming.
Pit road. And nobody was a lap down, so looks like everybody's going to start up on the lead lap, I believe. Except for Patrick Allen, but he should get the lucky dog if he's still in.
Yeah, or maybe Ryan may have gotten the lucky dog before that. I don't know. Maybe he was able to stay on the lead lap. But yeah, the only guy showing a lap down right now is Patrick Allen in the 45 car. It wouldn't be a race in ARCS if Patrick Allen finished on the lead lap. So, but we gotta love the commitment to Patrick Allen. He's a good guy. We like busting his chops. He gives it right back to us. So.
Hey, I said I would pay. I made a joke the other day about Patrick Allen. If he were to finish in the top 5 at TNT, I'll throw in $100 to the championship purse if he ever finished top 5 at TNT.
We may have to get that. I might have to work with him to get that to happen. Because we need some purses for TNT. But yeah, I'll give him credit when credit's due. He's been really running good in those cars. I think he had a top 10 run going at Rockingham and got caught up in some unfortunate stuff. And he was doing okay at Bristol too. But shout out to Patrick Allen for your commitment to ARCS.
He had a really good showing at Bristol, and Rockingham did a lot better than I did. I was out by like lap 10, but he drives those cars a lot, so we tease and make fun of him a lot about how just horrible he can be. But when he tries, he can actually not do too bad. But check out Dustin Painter in that beautiful blue Piedmont car. Gonna start this race in the lead. Trey Kirk going to be starting in second. So it's literally a flip flop from how this race has been going all night. So let's see if Ryan Pinnell and Seth Wansey may have got their hamsters working and got the internet going and see what happens. Jeremy Brial down there going to be right there with Dustin. Those two worked really well together. Sam Roberts up there had a really clean race. So the top four very strong race cars. Hopefully the 44 and the 75 and the 81, all got, and the 99, got their faster pairs. They're gonna rock and roll. Looks like Lurkin Tom's up there as well. See Matthew Kent. So some really good names, some fast drivers.
Yeah,
Be exciting to see.
Matthew Kent in that 31 car, very clean looking car. It looks like it's the same paint scheme as that 99, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, some really good guys up in front. I got to shout out to those Robert boys. They've been up there in the top 4 or 5 all race long. Super clean race for them. Wouldn't be surprised if they pull off this victory here tonight. Looks like we're going green here. 65 gonna be our control car. This in this league, in all of our leagues actually, the beginning of the race will start on the flagman, and then every restart after that will be will be initiated by the leader. So the leader can choose the outside or inside lane. Dustin Painter has chosen the inside lane here, and once that pace car pulls off, he's free to go. And we're green. Good restart for that 65. Able to clear the 66. 74 coming in behind him. Looks like he's going to get side by side with that 66. Not a great restart for the guys behind them, though. 14 car didn't really get the best start there, but able to kind of slot his way into the top 5 or 6. And as these guys kind of get together. Oh, we got a wreck. Another wreck. 23 car in the wall.
Oh, that looked like it hurt.
23 car in the wall. Looks like that car is not turning very well. He's going to have to make an unscheduled pit stop. We got 18 to go here. 17 at the line. Battle for the lead. Jeremy Brial. First time that he's been able to sniff, well, not sniff the lead, but get his nose into the lead here. No surprise to anybody else. Anybody here, Jeremy's an extremely fast guy. And he's put that beautiful Taco Bell car right into the lead.
Second lead change of the night is, it's been awesome at first. The first 15, 20 laps, we were kind of getting worried up here, like, oh man, this is just going to be a 1 lane or 1 liter racetrack. But hey, we've had 3 different leaders so far, and now looks like Sam Roberts looking to try to maybe make a move on his teammate Jeremy.
Yeah, we got Sam Roberts up there in the 15 car. He's been glued to the bottom. He may be the first car. Oh no, he did not take tires. Looking for the first car with fresh tires. Looks like that's Seth Wansing in the 9 car. He's back in 7th place right now. He's got the 18 car to his outside. That is Blaze Richardson. Shout out to him. We haven't talked about him. Nice paint scheme there. I won't talk about what's on the front of that car or the back of that car, but good to see him out there. Jacob Blankenship, we spoke about him. Anybody else we're missing? Thomas Melnick doesn't look like he is going to be finishing this race, but I was going to try to give him a shout out. But we're going to go back to the front here. 74 car, still battling that 65 car for the lead. Looks like he's trying to get that car as low as he can, maybe to loosen it up a little bit. But to stay ahead of that 15 car and get that push down that straightaway. 3 wide here for about 7th. These cars, they could definitely do 3 wide at some parts, but I wouldn't do 3 wide through the entire lap. I mean, I think that's just flirting with disaster there once you enter the corners with how much these cars slide around. You could tell just by watching these front cars. how loose these cars are getting.
Yeah, you can definitely starting to see the sway and the body roll starting to affect these cars. But man, they're still putting on a heck of a show. We got great racing. Look at Seth Wansing drop back due to lag, and now he is right back there in the fourth row, just trying to tail the leaders. Lurkatab had a pretty clean race all race long, just kind of looking to make his move as well. But right now, the man of the hour, or the two men of the hour, are Dustin Painter and Jeremy Brial, who are literally side by side. Trey Kirk got stuck up high.
This is shaping up to be a heck of a finish. We got 12 laps to go. 65-74 battling it out. 15 and 66 just looking for one slip up to get to the front of the top line or the bottom line respectively. And then we got guys back here. Tom Sears, Samuel Roberts, both those guys, they're in positions to capitalize. Daniel Roberts in the 30. Both those guys are trying to get into a position to capitalize on any mistakes by these top four guys. Remember, this is a long season. This is a 12-week season, I believe, and there's a good prize at the end, sponsored by MK Men. For all of your Mary Kay needs, go to MK Men and um, you could find pretty much anything you need through there. I will get better with that ad, I promise you, as things go on. But tonight is all about Luke Allen, and these guys are putting on a hell of a show.
Hell of a show indeed. A little bit of contact was made earlier between the 74 and the 65, and now the 14 and the 18 had a little bit of contact.
Yeah, these guys are beating and banging here. These doors on these cars are going to look like a real life street stock by the end of this race. Growing up in my local short track, the street stocks were always so much fun to me because these guys would hang it all out there. They would door each other, use each other up, but typically they wouldn't wreck each other. They would they'd come back into the pits and their whole door would be crinkled up. By the end of the season, they'd have bangs, um, dents in their door from each week, and it would just pile on. And it was kind of like the hobby class, the class that you get into and you run, the affordable division, I guess you could say, where the average Joe can get into and doesn't need a huge big time sponsor. But these guys are putting on the best show that they can right now, and it's proven to live up to the hype for sure.
Yeah, with the way these guys are racing, we're probably going to have to give the winner, runner-up, and the third place driver a rubber mallet to beat the dings out of the car when they're done, because they're going to, man, they are starting to get a little feisty. We're now on lap 43 of 50, so we're probably going to see some action in the next few laps.
Yeah, gonna pull up the schedule here for for this series, the MK Men's Street Stock Series. This week, obviously, we are at Charlotte. Next week, oh well, I didn't pull it up. I will get that for you guys in a second. But after the way this race is going, SK, I think you got to run. Maybe next season we'll just do mile and a halves the whole time. I mean, you could do a little bit of dirt, sprinkle it in, but this is a heck of a race here as we got 7 to go.
Oh no, just wait till we hit some of these short tracks in this car. You're going to see a lot of cool slide jobs that you'll never even think of seeing. Uh, actually, so next week we go to Lanier Dirt, or sorry, the next race is Lanier Dirt, then South Boston for double points, which is a fun track. Then USA Dirt, which is the largest dirt track in iRacing, Southern National, then Eldora for double points, Concord, the miniature Pocono, Langley, Hickory, and then we go back to basically plate track racing at Rockingham for double points. So a lot of fun tracks. Like this is going to be an exciting season. We're going to see a lot of slide jobs at the short tracks, a lot of guys setting it in deep. And what's cool is you can bump and bang and you will see guys get moved. So it's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, that's an awesome schedule. Obviously, ending it with Rockingham. I mean, I love Rockingham. I may have to just race that race instead of broadcast it. But for right now, we got 5 to go. Same leaders up front. 60. Nothing has changed. 65 and 74, beating each other's bumper doors off, but doing it respectively. Not ruining each other's cars. Just kind of trying to kill each other's momentum. Um, this is going to be a battle that I think we're going to see throughout the series. Dustin Painter has really come on recently. I mean, we've always known him as a good iRacer, but has really been lighting some of these tracks on fire. And Jeremy Briol, I mean, nothing needs to be said for him. He's been good right off the
without.
Yeah, and if he can, he'll figure it out pretty soon. So, I think we're gonna see these guys battle it out, along with Trey Kirk and the Roberts boys, Tom Lurkin, and some other guys too. I mean, I don't want to discount anybody, but these guys are really putting on a show here, and we got 3 to go at the line.
This is going to start getting interesting. They almost went 3 wide earlier.
Yeah, at some point, the patience for the guys in the third row there, the 9 car and the 14, are going to run out, and they're going to want to make it move. Are they going to go make it 3 wide, or are they going to push the car ahead of them to try to get that run? Looked like the 9 wanted to go 3 wide a couple laps ago. Remember, he's looking again. He's the first car with fresh tires here. Not sure how much of a difference that makes in these cars, but it's definitely worth noting, SK.
Definitely worth noting. I mean, he's made up a lot of ground. So he's now actually up 2 more positions than what he was when I first mentioned he could pop back up. So this is going to get fun. We're about ready to come to the white flag, and this is where all the moves are going to be made. Look at Sam Roberts go down low, Tommy.
3 wide for the lead here. Oh, 3 wide there. Oh, they're wrecking.
Oh, big one. That was the big one.
And the caution comes out. We're going to get a green, white checker, and they're still wrecking. Oh man.
No, and Sam's upside down. He may have to tow. Oh, the 6 just plows into the back of him. And he's back on his wheels. He's not going to have to tow.
I don't know. He might still have to tow. But that was a wild, wild ride. Obviously, thankfully, this is iRacing and not real life, because he would be going to the hospital for sure. That was a wild ride there. Let's see if we can see exactly what happened. Obviously, Samuel Roberts making it 3 wide there. He did exactly what I said, SK. It didn't, he was sitting there for so long, riding. Him, Trey Kirk, Lurkin Tom, Daniel Roberts, those guys were sitting there. At some point, you have to make a move, right? And he saw an opening. He took it 3 wide, but unfortunate for the 65 car, it didn't stick. But guess who's in our lead? That 9 car, Seth Wansing, a guy who blinked out of the Rockingham season opener for TNT in really unfortunate circumstances. He really is hungry for a win here. Would love to do it for Luke Allen tonight in that inspired scheme. Don't know if he got any damage from that, but like I said before, he's got the freshest tires.
Yeah, I kind of went back and looked at that wreck, and all 3 of them just hit each other at the exact same time. It was just magical circumstances, unfortunately. It stinks, but it happens.
Jack at FND in the chat saying Painter got ... Yeah, I agree with you, but I ain't gonna say it either. But no, he was having a really good run there, and honestly, so was a 74. It was a toss-up what was going to happen there. But I don't blame the guys behind him for pushing it there. This is a series that these guys are just going to have fun, and with it being a Memorial week and a Memorial race for our good friend, everybody in this field wants to win it that much more. So, unfortunate for both the 65 and the 74, but now we got some new guys up front. Obviously, we got Seth, Jacob Blankenship in the 99. We talked about him a little bit earlier. Good run for him. 14 car of Tom Sears. Not sure if he has any damage from that, but he's another guy with that Luke Allen on the front of that car. Really good to see. 31 car, Matthew Kent, having a really clean race here. That car seems to be fully intact. He's going to go for broke here for sure. 18 car, Blaze Richardson. He's another guy that we haven't really talked much about, but I'm sure he'll send it in there if he needs to. And then rounding out the top 6, Daniel Roberts, who's proven to have a fast car all race. Looks like we're going green here. Oh, no, wait. Pace car back on. The light's back on the pace car. So we'll make another circuit here. For anybody unfamiliar with the rules, green, white, checker, that means that we go green. Then the white flag waves, and then the checkered flag waves. Once the white flag waves, there will not be another green, white, checkered. So Seth wants to see this race get to the white flag with him in front, so that this race will officially end. But a lot can happen. We have multiple shots at a green, white, checker here. Now we get the 1 to go signal. These guys are going to be going for broke. I think it's going to really come down to this restart. If that 14 car can get behind that 9 and push him out on this restart, they can both kind of check out a little bit and leave that top side stranded. So we'll see how this goes, SK. What are you thinking?
It's going to come down to this restart. Lights are off on this truck. There's not a lot of time to make a move, so I think it's almost going to have to be forced. And if somebody accidentally leaves the door open, you're gonna have to kick it open. If they leave that slightest crack, you're gonna have to dive it in there. So we're gonna have to see what happens, and definitely go. Seth, gonna be sitting on the bubble. You've got those 2 offer pad cars up there, the 99 of Blankenship and Matthew Kent in the 31. Lurkin, he's been clean all day. Another Roberts is back there in the 30. Trey Kirk's got caught up, but he's right there. So, man, it's going to be anybody's game once we get started, and who's gonna make the move and who's gonna make it stick. Pace trucks off. We are back to green flag racing.
Good start for that 9 car, but once again, that 14 car not able to get to the bumper of the 9. Did the 9 kind of get out too far here? Is he kind of a sitting duck when we come around to the 1 to go? Time will tell, but that 14 car able to clear the 99, 31 now, trying to clear that 99. Looks like we're going to have maybe a 2-car race here coming to the white flag.
Yeah, here it goes. Seth looking really good. Here comes Lurkin. 14. And I'm not sure, has Seth won a iRacing race yet?
That's a good question, but here we are at the line. 14 car pulling up to his outside. Going to try, got the momentum going into turn 1 here. Sorry about that. 31 car looking like he's going to go low, and they're wrecking behind him, but we're going to probably stay green here. We're going to finish this off. 3-car battle. They're dooring, they're beating each other on the backstretch. 31 car looking for any chance here to maybe sneak in and get this win. 14 car high, 9 car looks like he's going to sail off into the sunset. 31 car on the bottom, 3 wide.
Oh, they're going to go 3 wide. It's a drag race to the start finish line. Who's going to take it?
31.
Oh, the 31 gets it at the line. What a race. Man,
Matthew Kent.
I'm going to have to go back and get that and post that in the Discord. That is...
Matthew Kent, I believe, is our winner. Wow, he kind of came out of nowhere on that restart. I mean, I think he restarted 4th on the high side. and was able to kind of let's go back and look at that restart. I'm sorry. This is coming out of turn 4. 9 car just was so occupied with the 14 that he let the 31 car get to the bottom and kind of just drive past him. What a move by the 31 car of Matthew Kent. You hate to see it for the 9 and the 14. I thought for sure it was going to be decided between them, but I was wrong. And these guys are, I guess, having some fun after the race. So, like I said before, this is a fun league that these guys don't want to take too seriously. Obviously, with this being a memorial race, these guys have a little bit more on the line. But yeah, we're gonna go to a commercial break here, and we'll have some interviews when we come back.
What epic.
Wow. So what in the world just happened? Oh, I know you. You guys put on a hell of a show there. I mean, I knew it was going to come down to 3 of you guys once get wrecked behind you, obviously. But how will the finish there? Matthew Kent came out of nowhere. Like I think Seth was more worried about lurking and just left the door open. That was a good one. And we're back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for our 50 lapper. Winner Matthew Kent, second Tom Sears, third Seth Watson. Sorry about that. In a photo finish for the ages. First off, Seth, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Good. How are you, man?
I mean, I'm better now watching that race. That was a wild finish. Take us through that last lap.
I was more worried about lurking. I tried to catch him on the restart, and um, first off, congrats to Matthew Kent. Good run by Lurkin too, or Tom. And yeah, that last lap, there was twice to where I knew if I didn't at least really get next to Lurkin or touch him, he was gonna clear me because of the lack of help behind us because they all wrecked. The first time was coming off a 2. He got to my right rear, and I didn't want to give up the bottom, and so I went ahead and let him get my right rear in 1 and 2, and he did a great job. Um, and he was gonna clear me if I didn't get into him a little bit. So honor system there. I got into him on purpose, trying to stay next to him, and drove it down into 3. I cleared Lurkin. I wanted to kind of slide up and block him a little bit, but then I had Kent, so if I even gave Kent the slightest bit of bottom, he was going to be there. So I held her on the white line, and Lurkin was able to get back to my right rear. And he sucked me back, and I was more worried about Lurkin. And if I would have waited on Matthew's push, it would have been too late. He would have already had a run. So Matthew got to the inside, and I tried to go back down and suck Matthew, but I mean, at that point, I knew I was finishing second or third. So tried to bring that arch paint scheme home, number 1, but podium nonetheless. It was more than racing tonight. Um, Thanks for you guys broadcasting and everybody coming out tonight. It was a lot of fun. Led a good amount of laps there early. Had to get out of the way because of some blink and thought my race was over, but made 1 3-ride move to be third on the inside line, and then kind of like Pocono and Gordon won there in 2012. The seas kind of parted with the first 6 cars. So got the lead, tried to do something with it. So close, but that was a lot of fun. What a finish. Um, I don't think Luke would have had it any other way. So congrats to Matt, congrats to Lurkin, and what an awesome, awesome thing, man.
Well, congrats to you on a third place finish, Seth. I know Luke would be happy with that. Happy that you owned up to, the the beating and banging, because that's something he always did. Something he did maybe more than he should, you know. But congrats to you, and awesome job putting that 9 car up there in that UPS scheme. But right now, Seth, SKD, you got our second place finisher.
Mr. Lurkentob Tob Sears. Tonight or today has been kind of an emotional day for all of us. I don't mean you've talked, early this morning and kind of had to just kind of reassure each other about everything's going on. And I think you ended today exactly the way that he would, that our good buddy Arch would want you to win, battling it out. What a finish! You were literally just inches. Matthew Kent just had that run, so that was just, man, that was impressive. What racing!
Yeah, first off, obviously, we've lost our good buddy Luke Allen. Um, pretty pretty sad. But we're out here racing hard, and I know he'd be a big fan of all this, and I was trying to bring that memoriam car up to the victory, but just short. Really great racing at this with this car at this track. Super tight track racing, hard to make a move or anything like that. For Matt Kent, awesome move to the inside there at the end, and I appreciate Seth admitting that he tried to down the back stretch. No, I'm just kidding. We're all good. That was real fun. So, didn't get the win, but was able to put on a good show, and that's really what it's all about. Thanks for the
Yeah, good.
broadcast.
No, no problem. Good show indeed. I We were making jokes about how but you guys are having the time of your life in this race, but we're gonna move on up to our race winner now. Before I pass it over back to Tommy, the point of this series, debucks in this format with the field inverts at random and all this stuff, how this series is designed is to give guys who's not yet scored their first arcs win a fighting chance of scoring their first arcs win. And now Matthew Kent has claimed his first official arcs win. Thomas Sanders, take it away.
Yeah, definitely. Part of the reason, like you said, was to do this race was to kind of get some people that
Tommy.
oh, yep, I'm here. Yeah, part of the reason why I'm sorry, Dustin wanted to put this on was encourage some guys to come out. Obviously, Matthew Kent is a guy that's come out and raced with us a lot. I mean, he was going to win his first race. It was just a matter of time. But before we get to the interview, I just kind of want to put this PayPal in the link one last time for anybody who may have missed it before. All proceeds will go right to the Luke Allen family to support his wife and his 3-year-old kid, 3-year-old girl. So whatever you can. If you can't donate $1, prayers are appreciated. So with that said, Matthew Kent, Mr. Where did you come from? Tell us about that last restart, man.
Yeah, after the wreck brought us to the green white checkered, I ended up fourth, and I was like, a lot of talk about the outside line just being tough to get pushing forward, and so got a hole on the inside and was able to push the front two 1 and 3 up to up to that position, and then take the white. And I saw the wreck coming out behind me, and I was like, all right, it's just us three to the end here, and then saw Seth give a little door shot to the 14, and I was like, all right, maybe they're gonna take each other out, and I just skate home with this thing. But it definitely looked like the 9 was a little occupied with the 14. I was like, I've just got to hold this bottom line. I hold the bottom line, and I might have a chance to get them right there at the in the going to the start finish line, but just by a nose. And he gave just enough clearance for me to poke my nose under there, and thankfully he was up bothering the 14 until it was just a touch too late by 13 1,000ths of a second, and that's the difference.
Yeah, that's wild. That's got to be one of the closest finishes in ARC's history. We've had some real close ones, but that's definitely up there. What did you think of the race? I mean, it looked like it was a blast from up here, but also looked like it could be a little bit frustrating because those top 2 guys, the one guy on the bottom and one guy at the top, eh, they kind of seemed not to be stacking up the field, but they couldn't clear each other. So it must have been a little bit frustrating, right?
A little bit, early on you're like, okay, where's the runs, where's the lines, and then you kind of just settled in after about 10 and be like, okay, these cars are a little wide because they're a little loose in the back end, so the high line's trying to catch it, the low line's trying not to slide up, and that was probably where a lot of the checkups were coming from, was just that you couldn't get good grip on entry, and you'd slide through the middle, and then you'd launch off there, and you'd both do it at the same time, so neither line could go anywhere. So I just kind of sat back in 10th, 10th, 11th, and just kind of waited and rode, and knew I couldn't. You can't force the issue too much too early. You only got the one car to go with, and so until the time was right to make the move and avoid the one big one. That was kind of the game plan and watching that race play out.
Yeah, you knew the big one was going to come eventually. It was just a matter of time. But well, congrats to you. Congrats to Seth. Congrats to Lurkin. That's our podium for tonight. We will be back here next week. I believe we are going to Lanier. Lanier, we will be dirt racing, so completely different from where we're starting. Obviously, we have a lot of festivities for this week. We have TNT coming up on Thursday, but before that, we have IndyCar on Wednesday. Saturday, we have SNS, our truck series, and then Sunday we close out the week with A Squared. Make sure you tune in to all of our networks, Rick James TV1, Arrow Racing Network, and this channel, ARCS Racing Network. So everybody have a great rest of your day. And after everything we've dealt with today, make sure you, as Rick